Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Tito, and found a different avenue to kind of talk more mobile technology with everybody. So I'm always trying to find avenues to get it out there, and found another one. So I'm trying this out for the first time. So welcome. And let's just get right into the topic at hand. So some people have kind of misunderstood a video that I posted on YouTube, roughly talking about the LG G6 and the Snapdragon 821. And I guess one of the biggest things that people are upset about is they're thinking like that I feel the G6 by LG is deserving of the 821. In a live broadcast, someone decided to make that known to me and also took it upon themselves to make fun of me and my family, which was kind of rich and funny. I got a good kick out of it. I thought it was absolutely funny. But I want to elaborate more on it because it just seems like that people have not done their homework. Maybe they haven't, actually read things online regarding not just the G6, but just about every flagship that is being launched beginning 2017. They all would not have access to the Snapdragon 835. And the reason for that is that Samsung basically, if you want to say, got dibs on the first batches of the 835, but also an exclusive use of the 835 where no other company would have that chip just yet. Now we're on the dawn of where that exclusive use of the 835 for Samsung is about to end, as after April, other manufacturers are going to be able to get their hands on the 835 chip. So what does that mean exactly? Well, if what I said is not as crystal clear, then I don't know how to get it any more clear than possible. I mean, I can try to, kind of dumb it down a little bit and just basically say it like this. Samsung has rights to the 835 before anyone else until April. If that's not any clearer, then how about Samsung has it first, everyone else will have it in April. I mean, I don't know how much more clearer can I get with all of this just by stating it. And it's not me just throwing a story out there or an excuse. You could read for it yourself if you really want to know. Google is your best friend. Google and Google Assistant is what you can use to find this. I don't expect everyone to take what I say as 100% truth. If you feel like that you need to question it, if you feel like that you need to verify what I'm saying, absolutely do it. It doesn't offend me. Because I'm not a perfect person here on YouTube or anywhere else. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I've said something entirely wrong. Kind of backdate you guys. There was, this news that I thought was real about someone playing Pokemon Go and getting hit by a car. And it turned out not to be real. So I was wrong in the sense of that. And I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong and correct my mistake. But when I say these things, when I said that about the G6, about how the G6, shouldn't be written off because it's been given the 821 chipset from Qualcomm instead of the 835, my thing, the angle that I was coming from is that the Snapdragon 821 is a pretty good processing chip. Obviously, people thought it was phenomenally good when it first came out. Now that the 835 is out, it's the latest and greatest, so of course that's going to beat out the 821 in some areas. But that's the angle that I'm approaching, is like the 821 was great when it first came. Why shit on it now? Why, look at it as if it's an outdated relic when it's not? It's not an outdated relic. And just because the G6 is not going to have it, but the Galaxy S8 is going to have it, doesn't necessarily mean that the G6 by LG is going to be completely dominated. Okay? There are things about the G6 that people haven't taken into consideration to understand about it that's absolutely good. One being the fact that it ditched modularity for water resistance. That is a huge plus. That is a huge plus because a lot of flagships are kind of going towards that. And I don't think that flagships are making phones water resistant because they want you to go scuba diving with your phone. The absolute reason I feel like they're going with water resistance and dust resistance is for the water resistance, it's like a fail-safe security thing. Drop your phone in a pool by accident, dive down in there, pick it up, and it's going to function and be fine. Having to use that mythical thing of sticking your phone in rice so the rice can absorb the water, no, that does not work. But the fact is that, water resistance is helpful in many ways. And now, LG's flagship, the G6, has that. Okay? It ditched modularity. Now, modularity was a great idea. Okay? Modularity wasn't just done with just the G5. It wasn't LG's conception. I mean, Google with Project Aura was trying to do a modular phone for the longest time. Motorola, the Moto Z, with its modules, just pretty much beat out LG and its version of modules. And I think what the biggest reason why the G5 didn't catch, very well amongst people, I don't think it was so much of modularity that was the downfall of the G5. I just think it was poor construction. People have high expectations of their smartphones to look a certain way. People are very nitpicky if just the line between the bottom of the phone and the body of the phone are not in sync perfectly. People are very nitpicky, and it's not just only that. It's with every smartphone. Every smartphone, people have some sort of pickiness to it. So, with that being said, going back to topic, I never said that the G6 deserves the 821. And anyone that takes what I say and flip it into something completely different, I can't help that. That's how you perceived it, and I can't help how you perceive it. But in plain English, I am stating that the G6 should not be written off just because it has the Snapdragon 821. It's not going to make the phone slow. It's not going to make it feel like you're using an outdated relic. It's just not going to have what the 835 offers. But it shouldn't be written off. Because there are people out there who are so picky that if a device doesn't have the latest processing chip, they refuse to buy it, which I think is pretty idiotic to judge a phone that way. To completely write it off just over one aspect of it. Not actually using, I said actually twice, but not actually using the phone before determining how the phone is going to be. But just writing it off because of what the spec sheet says. I'm one person that feels like that. I honestly would love to burn the spec sheets of every phone that comes out. Who gives a crap what the specs has? Use the damn thing. Use it and then figure out for yourself if it's for you or if it's not for you. A lot of companies give you a tiny window to use a phone and return it. And honestly, that tiny window is a good amount of time. Yeah, I said it. Some of you will disagree. No, 4 days is not enough. 3 days is not enough. 15 days is not enough. But let me tell you this. You can learn more about a phone's behavior in 36 hours if you use it. And can't no one say that's not possible because smartphones are an extension of the human body. There is not one person that I pass on the street that does not carry a smartphone in hand that is staring at the screen. I'm absolutely surprised that we are capable of crossing the street without getting hit by a car when I see like 10 people at a crosswalk and all 10 have their eyes glued to their smartphone. And they can still make it across. So my whole thing is, back to the whole topic at hand of the LG G6, is that pump brakes. Forget the specs, okay? The specs is not the most important thing of a smartphone. It's how it behaves. It's how it works for you. The type of smartphone user you are and what it can do for you. Because that's the quintessential thing of having a smartphone, is how it works for you. Does it cover the things that you need out of it? Because all smartphones are micro mini computers. That's what they are. I don't even know why they call it smartphones, because technically a smartphone is a phone first and then additional features after. But today people buy them not for phone calls, slightly for texting, but mostly for chatting, social media, live broadcasting, music playing, video game playing, and creating videos. And occasionally their phone rings. So, for those people that are a little butthurt, I can't help how you feel. And I'm not going to back down on what I said. And to reiterate, what I said is, even though the LG G6 did not get the Snapdragon 835, but it got the 821, does not mean it's a terrible phone. Quote that. Thanks for listening to my first rant. And yeah, so we'll have some more fun with this. And stay tuned for more of these podcasts, guys, because I think this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this. So you'll hear from me in the next one whenever I do them. And if you're listening on YouTube, Friday, video day. So be on the lookout for that. 2 more days till some videos drops. Anyways, stay blessed. Have a good night. Or good morning, wherever you are in the world.